Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is John and Addicted to Fishing. Today, we're going to cover a pretty broad topic here, but we're basically going to go over tackle storage. I'm not just going to cover tackle storage as far as different types of boxes. I'm going to cover quite a few different things and ways that I like to store tackle, whether it's in my tackle bag or whether it's in the tackle room. No matter how I'm storing tackle, I'd really like to cover that today. Sorry, guys, I had to step out of the frame there for a second. Keeping the dog out. So let's start. Let's start with the boxes themselves, and then we will move into some other options that I have. And these are all, I carry 3600s in my backpack. I keep a lot of stuff in a 3600. I also utilize a 3700 series box. And of course, a few different other things to store tackle. I prefer the boxes with the watertight seal, especially if I'm going to not keep stuff at home. Right now it's mainly in a backpack, but I like those when I had the boat. I've got a few old school type tackle storage and a little couple things that maybe people haven't really thought about. So anyway, I'm going to show most of them in a 3600 box. So if you're really on a budget, and you're looking for some inexpensive options, you'll see those in here. You can find tackle boxes, storage boxes, like the regular type latch boxes, without a seal, with a seal. Without the seal, they're not waterproof. With the seal, they can be waterproof. You can find these on Facebook Marketplace. You can find them in craft sections. You can find them just about anywhere. So if you're willing to put a little bit of time, you can save money. There are boxes that I don't keep because I don't necessarily want to spend $50-$60 per box or a couple $100 on a set. I got a lot of these Bass Pro boxes when they would do like Black Friday sales. They would have some of these, sometimes a buck a piece. And this is dating back quite a few years. But a simple 3600 Bass Pro box. They have Plano has one. I'm sure Flambeau has one. There are some of these at Harbor Freight. The ones at Harbor Freight, you can find them with a seal or without a seal. Almost all of them at Harbor Freight are Plano. That brings me to my next one. I like these guys with the triple clamp. Of course, you get the waterproof seal. This just happens to be a hard bait box, a crankbait box that I carry in my pack. And again, I like it with the waterproof seal. That way, if I'm ever out and I'm fishing and it decides to rain, or something along that lines, I don't ruin my baits. And let's face it, guys, we're putting a lot of money into these baits. We want to keep them nice. I don't think. Oh, actually, I do. I have one right here. This is the Harbor Freight version. As you can see, it's the same box. There's no markings on the box that tell you where it's made, but you can see the latching system. It has the same waterproof. Everything else looks exactly the same, except for, you can see the latch is shaped a little different. And the Harbor Freight sells these in quite a few different sizes. So it's a good way to pick up a good waterproof box inexpensively. You can watch Harbor Freight and they'll have those on sale. Plus you'll find Harbor Freight, like 50% off a single item. They'll sell those in like packs of 3 or packs of 2. So it's a good way to save some money. The next step up from the basic waterproof Plano box, Plano came out with the Edge system, and it incorporates a water wick. It also has this one-handed latch And then it has all these breathable type inserts that allow water flow, also allow some airflow. This just happens to be my Finesse crankbait box, Finesse top water, Finesse glide baits, things of that nature in here, jerk baits. It's a great box. It is a little bit on the pricey side. This one's $19.99. When I find it on sale, I think I found them on sale for $15.99, something like that. Along that same line, same system, just made by KastKing, and I prefer these now that I've been using them more over the Plano. Not that one is necessarily more waterproof than the other, not that one's necessarily got a better moisture wicking system. You know, there's other things about them that I prefer. One is the cost. These are $15 normal price. You can find these on sale. I think I found these normal price for about $10. But the big thing I like about it does have that one-handed latch system. The latch seems to latch a lot better. But what I like is that the lid itself, as you can see, this one, the lid, the latch is not attached, where the other one, the Plano, the lid's attached, so it makes that lid lighter when you're moving it. It has the same breathable inserts. This one just happens to be a box that I carry all the time in my backpack. It's got some underspins, some jig heads, some inline spinners, my Neds, my tush jigs, my hover rigs, and things of that nature. It's a great waterproof box. This is probably this one, the KastKing box, and the Plano Edge are my top two that I always keep in my tackle bag. The rest of them I pretty much now keep just at home. But if I was just looking to rush and grab a box, I do keep several of these 3600 series with the waterproof seal. So if I was just looking to throw crankbaits at one of the local ponds, I wouldn't necessarily pull this and move it all into a Plano Edge box. I will keep these available. Next pretty much system that I use that you can find at any of the local Walmarts, and you can find them at a relatively inexpensive price. We don't need the nail weights or these boxes. And I happen to work at a store where we had these labels that we printed out to put on different things, and I took a roll of the labels and I label the box and let myself know what's in them. I carry all my bulk soft plastics in them. I also keep old reels and other things of that nature in those. They do have the ones that are like this that have the latching lids. And then they got some also that have a waterproof seal. I do have a few of those. You know, that's not including the deep boxes that I use. I use the deep boxes. Let's see if I can pull this one out real quick. Nope, can't grab that one. And this is by Plano as well. These deep boxes, so you can keep a bunch of different crankbaits in them. I do try to separate them by style, so that way if I know this one, for example, square bills, S cranks, knuckle cranks, you know, if I need a square bill, it's just easy to come over here, you know, other than having to separate them. You know, if I needed that one of those three cranks, I can easily put it in a box. If not, I store it this way in the fisher or in the tackle room. Okay guys, that's pretty much it for the different boxes that I do use. From time to time I've got a couple of the bait binders. They're back there in the tackle closet with some of the different parts. I bought those and I really don't use them. They've got the little I was looking to see if I had one. It's got those little bags that self-seal, or they seal up and you can keep them dry. But that's pretty much it for the hard type boxes that I use. Now, as far as my soft plastics go, I like to keep all of them in the original bags. If by chance I have a bag that rips, or I've got a lot of one particular bait, or the bags just don't seem to reseal, or I happen to get one that doesn't reseal, I just use any type of plastic bag. The only ones that I'm pretty much a stickler 100% keeping in the original package are your Z-Mans or anything that's made with the elastomer. The bags are designed to not interact with the elastomer, so it's highly recommended that you keep any of those type of baits in the original package. As far as everything else goes in my tackle bag, if I'm going to not have my little terminal box, like some nail weights, I'd keep them in like a little Ziploc bag. You can find these in the craft section at your local Walmart. I started doing the same thing. Let me see if I've got one here. Yeah. What I started doing so that I can try to keep my backpack light is I started using these bags and keeping different spinner baits, chatter baits, buzz baits, jigs, things like that. Something that I might want one or two of in that type of bag. I keep a mixed lot of different skirts in that type of bag, hooks. You know, that way I don't have to carry a complete terminal tackle box. I'm already carrying a couple boxes, and I try to keep my backpack as light as possible. And here's another one of the Chaos King boxes that's got some terminal in it. Even this having this much terminal tackle, it gets pretty heavy. You guys kind of think about that when you're going out and you're walking. One of the places I go, I got to walk a lot, so carrying a bunch of this weight really slows me down. I'm going to try to go through these boxes in the off season, lighten them up. And then what I like to do, and I don't have one out here, but I got the Plano trunks. I like to keep a Plano trunk right in my car with some backup terminal gear or other types of gear. Another thing that you can do, guys, and I just swapped out at home for a bunch of the containers that are like this. For my food storage at home, they got the waterproof seal. This is what I keep my different scents in. But even little Rubbermaid containers work great at home. You know, you can throw in a bunch of terminal tackle, label it with what it is. You know, if these are all 1/8 ounce bullet weights, you can put the lid on, right 1/8 bullet weight on the top. The possibilities are endless when you really start thinking about it, and there's definitely ways to save money. Even some of my terminal tackle now, I wish I'd have thought about this 40 years ago before I started opening up a bunch of terminal tackle, but keeping them in the original package. You know, like bullet weights now, when they're loose, I'm putting them in this. And then generally speaking, what I do, if I'm going out and I know I'm going to do a lot of Texas rigging, is I got a couple deep boxes. One's got swim bait hooks in it. The other one's got terminal tackle in it. Is I'll keep all of my stuff in little baggies like this. So once I get to the lake, you know, say the particular day I know I'm going to throw Texas rigs. I got these Wide Gap Plus 6/0. Say I take a 4 or 5 and a 6/0. That pretty much covers me. And then some different sized bullet weights. I can load them all, you know, a few different sized bullet weights in this little bag. Throw this in my backpack and I'm gone. And I'll do that to lighten up my backpack. You can go down to the inexpensive, cheap Ziploc storage type bags. The only problem I found with the Ziploc bags is they're generally really thin. So if you're keeping hooks on them, swim bait heads, things like that, the hook will penetrate that bag pretty easy. These little bit thicker bags tend to not allow the hook to penetrate them as easily. Other than that, guys, I've got some old school tackle boxes that I don't like to get rid of for different various reasons. One of the greatest boxes that I've held on to for years is by Flambeau. No, I'm sorry, it's actually by Tackle Logic. This was the Walmart FLW series. And this happens to be a spinnerbait box. When I used to keep this all the time in the boat, what I did up top was I kept extra blades, skirts, beads, swivels, things of that nature in the top. I don't really utilize that part anymore. It doesn't have a waterproof system, but inside is spinnerbaits and buzz baits. You can see it's got the little slotted sections. It's a great box for storing those. I like those. They do sell the smaller size spinnerbait boxes by Plano. They're just the small cubes. I don't have one out here. And just to my right is pretty much just all of my hard baits and stuff like that. You can see that I'm storing all of it pretty much how I told you guys. The box right here has got all the Tupperware in it. I haven't utilized any of that because I just swapped it out. But you can see that that's how I store pretty much everything. Even if you look behind me, a lot of my tools are stored in some kind of cheap Walmart box. So guys, that's pretty much it for storage or tackle storage. You can break the bank with like the Busby Colony boxes and some of the other box styles that are out there on the market. I choose to not do that. These, like I said, since I first ordered these KastKing boxes for the price, these are probably the way I'll keep going if I go anymore with these. I pretty much at this point don't need any boxes. I've sold off a lot of my, or given away a lot of my regular old school tackle boxes. Like this one, I just keep some rod and reel parts in, but they didn't have the waterproof seal. I've given those away and or sold those. I just don't have a need for those anymore. I've pretty much gotten away from that. But anyway, guys, just a real quick video. Been really busy with work. I appreciate everybody's patience when I'm putting out these videos. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I have no affiliations at this time with anybody. So pretty much what you're seeing is what I buy or that I have accumulated over the years. You know, just trying to get some truthful information out there on what I use. I know that some of you guys are, you know, using some things that I use, and you've been using it for years. So have I. You know, it's nothing new. There's a couple techniques that maybe are coming out that are new, but most techniques that you're seeing are techniques that have actually been around for a long time, and nobody's really talked about them. I'm trying to bring some of that to light and educate people on how I'm fishing it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the only way to fish it or the right way to fish it. It's just what works for me. And I figured if it's something that's working for me, it could work for you. It's like I tell them at work, if I can do it, you can do it. And if I'm using something and it works, you can use the same system and it works. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in to the video. We'll see you in the next one. By the way, I may or may not have a video coming up. It's a short one of me actually fishing. I didn't have anybody to film, but I found a spot on the bank and was able to set up the camera. If you want to see that video, let me know in the comments. It may or may not have a fish catch, but it's definitely some on-water video. I've delayed posting it. But anyway, I'd like to share that with you guys. It's just a quick video at one of the local ponds that I fish. And like I said, I found a spot on the bank. I can set my camera down. Actually, my phone, because I use my phone for everything. But if you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments, and I'll share that video with you guys. I hope that I can start setting up that camera or my phone a little bit more, and maybe capture some more on the water stuff for you. It may not necessarily have a fish catch in it. But anyway, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. Like, share, and comment the video. Thank you.